Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be giving my NBA DraftKings picks for Wednesday, November 1st. We got a huge slate today on this Wednesday, a full slate, 12-game slate today, one of the biggest slates we've had in a while. So we got a lot of players to look at. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to hit on every single player, but I'll be sure to give some of my favorite plays at each price tier, give some guys up top, give some guys in the mid-range, and then if there are value plays that I like at each position, I'll be sure to hit on those. And since it is such a big slate, if there is somebody that I skip over that you like, just be sure to leave them down in the comments and I'll let you know what I think about that player. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and get started today looking at point guard. Alright, so up top at point guard, we got two guys over 11K, two stud price guys here, James Harden and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Giannis is 12K, he gets to face Charlotte. James Harden is 11K and gets to face the Knicks. I think in this matchup, I'd probably prefer James Harden for 1K less. I'm not going to be paying up for either of these guys, at least not for the core. There's a guy right under them that I just absolutely love today at 9,500. But James Harden and Giannis, I mean, these guys are matchup proof. Like I said, I think I'd prefer Harden for 11K going up against the Knicks, a team that's just not good defensively. That game's being played in New York, so I think the blowout concern's not as high since that game's being played in New York. So if you want to play Harden or Giannis, I'm not going to tell you not to, but I definitely won't be paying up for them today. They're just other guys that I like. One of those guys that I like more is that at 9,500, John Wall going up against the Suns. Absolutely love John Wall here. This is a great matchup. The Suns, terrible against point guards, and they play at a very fast pace. One thing does really concern me here, and that is the blowout potential. The Suns are obviously not that good of a basketball team, so this game could get ugly. But if it somehow stays close, John Wall could just absolutely smash here, could definitely put up 50 plus. He is 9,500, which is a reasonable price tag for John Wall. We've seen him in his last few games been over 10K. We're getting him sub 10K today at 9,500 in a really, really good matchup. So I just love the spot for John Wall. I think the potential for 50 plus, like I said, is definitely here. Triple-double could definitely happen. John Wall has that kind of upside, so he is a guy that I'm going to be looking to pay for today at 9,500. There's no one on that Phoenix defense that can really stop him or Bradley Beal. I think Bradley Beal is also a good play today. But I like John Wall at 9,500, one of my favorite plays on the slate. Then look at other point guards. Ben Simmons at 8,800. I think if you don't want to pay up for Wall, you want a guy a little bit cheaper. Definitely like Ben Simmons here. And I also really like the price tag today at 8,800. We know Atlanta, they do struggle against point guards. Now, I'm not sure who Ben Simmons is going to have to see defensively. I think they put Taurean Prince on him, and Prince is a pretty good defender. But nobody has really been able to slow Simmons down much this year. His worst game was against Boston, where he put up 33 DK points. And other than that game, he's put up 40 plus, had some 50-point games in his game log. So we know Simmons has that kind of upside. The price tag's nice on him at 8,800. We're getting him under 9K today. So I think if you don't want to pay up for Wall or any of those other guys up top like Giannis or Harden, you can definitely look to Ben Simmons today at 8,800. I think he is a valuable option. Kyrie at 8,500. I like this matchup for Kyrie. Definitely blowout concern in this game. Sacramento just not a good basketball team. Boston could definitely blow them out here. But same thing goes with Wall as it does for Kyrie. If this game can stay close, Kyrie could absolutely smash. There's nobody on that Sacramento defense that I think could really stop him. So I think Kyrie's another guy if you want to pay it for him. I think he is definitely in play. But looking for some other point guards that we can target, some other guys in the 7K, 6K range. Kyle Lowry maybe be a guy to be looking here at 7,700 against Denver. Denver hasn't been that good defensively against point guards. Jamal Murray, not the best defender. Some pretty good games lately, 2 good games in a row. 51 against the Lakers and 42 against Portland. Both of those matchups were obviously great. This matchup's pretty good against Denver. So I think if you want to target Kyle Lowry here in the 7K range, he is a guy I definitely can consider today at 7,700. A guy I will have my eye on. And then looking for some other point guards that we can target in the 6K range. I think if you want to target a guy like Darren Collison, he might be a considerable play, or maybe Jeff Teague. I think I'd prefer Jeff Teague for 200 more just because Jeff Teague's been a lot more consistent. The matchup isn't that good. Drew Holiday, pretty decent defender, but Jeff Teague, 6,400, a reasonable price tag. If he gets you 35, 36 DK points, that's close to 6x value. Jeff Teague could definitely do that even in this matchup. We've seen he has the upside to put up 50 plus, put up 58.75 against Miami, had 23 points, 6 steals, 11 assists, 5 rebounds. So Jeff Teague can definitely fill the stat sheet, can rack you up fantasy points. So I think if you are looking in that 6K range, you can definitely consider Jeff Teague today, 6,400. Him and Collison, I think both guys you can target in that price tier. And they're looking for some cheaper guys, some maybe mid-tier and value plays that we can target. At 5K, TJ McConnell, I think he is a considerable mid-tier value-ish play. If JJ Redick is out, if JJ Redick doesn't play, definitely consider McConnell. He has seen an increase in minutes with Redick out. He's played 31, 26 minutes in his last two games. I believe Redick was out in that other game against Houston as well, and he played 28 minutes in that game. So if Redick is out, you definitely might want to consider TJ McConnell here at just 5K. He's been playing really well with Redick out. He's put up 36, 33, and 28 DraftKings points, and he's only 5K. For a 6X value, you need 30 DK points, which he could totally do against Atlanta, who, like I said, they really struggle against point guards. McConnell does play off the bench, but he's still seeing pretty good minutes even playing off the bench. So if you're looking for a cheaper value play at point guard, definitely target TJ McConnell here at 5K. And then another core play for me is going to come at point guard. I'm going to plug him into the guard position at 4,700. Really like Jarrett Jack today going up against Houston. Just love the matchup for Jarrett Jack, and I think the price tag's also pretty nice on him as well. His price tag has been on the rise because he has been playing well, and he's been seeing an increase in minutes. In his last three games, he started the last three games at point guard for the Knicks, and he's put up 26, 22, and 27 DraftKings points in the three games that he has started and played 26, 34, and 32 minutes. And he's in a great matchup here against Houston, a team that really struggles to defend guards now that they don't have Patrick Beverley. Beverley plays for the Clippers now. James Harden, Eric Gordon, two guys that aren't very good defenders. So this is just a great spot for Jarrett Jack. Houston plays at a very fast pace, which is going to allow the Knicks to get a lot more possessions. And Jarrett Jack, when he has the ball in his hands, he can dish out assists. He can grab some rebounds as well. Definitely can score the ball. Can provide you fantasy points in multiple ways. So if you're looking for a cheap point guard today, love Jarrett Jack as a value play we can target at 4,700. At that same price tag, I think you can target Mike James here going up against Washington. Mike James having a really good game right now as I'm recording this video. The Suns game just started. The Suns and Brooklyn game started just about right as I'm recording this video, and I believe Mike James already has like 12 points, 12 real-life points in the first quarter. I think he's got like 15 or 16 fantasy points in the first quarter. He does start for the Suns. He's been playing close to 30 minutes, 26 minutes in his last game against Portland. So just 4,700, a starting point guard playing near 30 minutes. Definitely a guy you can consider for value. So if you want to target him at that same price tag, I don't mind him, but I would rather have Jarrett Jack looking at the same price. I think Jack probably outscores James, but James also a considerable option at that same price tag. And yeah, I think that might be it for point guard. I think that's pretty much it. Those are the guys I'm looking at here. Maybe if you want to target JJ Barea at 4,400, JJ Barea, just a guy that just continues to get it done. Really good cash play just because he's so consistent. Has yet to put a game under 20 DraftKings points, and he's still only 4,400. For him to get 6x, you need like 25 DK points, which he's definitely been doing as of late. And even if he only gets you 5x, that's still pretty good for cash games, which is where I think you want to target Barea. Doesn't have a ton of upside. You rarely see him put up like a monster game, but for cash, he's really consistent. So definitely consider JJ Barea if you're looking for a cheap cash point guard or shooting guard. Definitely target him at 4,400. But yeah, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Those are some point guards I'm going to be looking to target today. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting guard. All right, so at shooting guard, some guys I'm going to be looking to target here. DeMar DeRozan at 7,900 going up against Denver. I think DeMar DeRozan definitely in play here. The price tag's pretty high, 7,900. You need close to 40 DK points, I would say, for him to hit value. But he could definitely do that in this matchup against Denver. Denver doesn't really have any good guard defenders. So if you want to pay up at shooting guard, I think DeMar DeRozan definitely in play, 7,900. And like I said earlier when I was talking about John Wall, I like John Wall today, but I definitely think if you want to get exposure to Washington, you can do it with Bradley Beal at 7,200. Phoenix, they're just not good defensively. They don't have any good guard defenders. And Bradley Beal, we know, has a ton of upside. Definitely can consider for GPPs. Can score the ball. Can grab some rebounds. Can dish out a couple assists as well. So in a fast-paced game that I think could be high scoring, hopefully it stays competitive. I think you want to target Bradley Beal in this game. If you want exposure to Washington, definitely consider him at 7,200. And then looking for some other guards or shooting guards that we can target, some guys in the 6K and 5K range. I think at 5,900, I like this spot for Justin Holiday going up against the Heat. Holiday, just a guy I always consider as shooting guard just because he plays a ton of minutes. If you just look at his last 4 games, he's played 36, 37, 37, and 32 minutes. He's put up 27, 37, 27, and 21 DraftKings points. His price tag is kind of up there at 5,900. I'd say you need at least 30 DraftKings points for cash game value, but he can definitely do that with the amount of minutes he sees. So if you want to target Justin Holiday here, I think he's a considerable cheapest mid-tier value play you can target at 5,900. And then looking for some other shooting guards we can target, there is a core play for me here in the 5K range at 5,400. I actually really like Tim Hardaway here going up against Houston. Like this spot for Tim Hardaway. I think this game really sets up well for him. It is going to be a game where New York's going to be playing up in pace, going up against Houston, a team that we know likes to push the ball and plays at a fast pace. I think this game's definitely going to be high scoring. I just hope it stays competitive, because if it does stay competitive, Tim Hardaway could have a monster game here. We saw in that game against Cleveland, we saw the upside Hardaway has. He put up 34 real-life points in that game, had 8 assists and 4 rebounds, 57 DraftKings points. When Hardaway starts making his shots, he can definitely provide you a ton of fantasy points. And in a game where I think he's going to have a ton of opportunity to take shots with how fast Houston plays, just like the spot for Tim Hardaway, I like the price tag as well. If he gets me 30, 35 DraftKings points, that's definitely good for cash games. And in this fast-paced game, I think Hardaway can definitely get there. So he's a guy I really have some interest in today, 5,400. And then another core play for me is going to come at 100 less. I'm going to be plugging him in as small forward. That's Kent Bazemore going up against the Sixers. Really like the price tag today on Kent Bazemore, 5,300. Like the matchup as well. Hopefully J.J. Redick plays in this game, because if Redick plays, I believe that's who is going to be guarding Bazemore, and Redick is not a very good defender. So if Redick plays, that really sets up well for Kent Bazemore. In his last 4 games, he's been really consistent, 35, 33, 25, and 29 DraftKings points. He's only 5,300. For him to get 5 to 6x value, you need 25, 30 DK points for good cash game value, which he could totally do. He's been doing that as of late. He's been playing some pretty good minutes as well. He's played over 30 minutes in 3 of his last 4 games. So I like this spot for Kent Bazemore at 5,300. Like him as a potential value play we can target today. You can plug him in as shooting guard or small forward. And then looking for some other shooting guards that we can target, maybe 5K and under, some value plays we can look at. There isn't a ton that I really see here that I'm just absolutely in love with. Just not a ton of guys I'm going to be looking to target, at least not as of now when I'm recording this video. And I am recording this the night before. Maybe value will open up, but right now I'm just not seeing a lot. JJ Barea, I talked about him earlier. I think he's a fine value play at 4,400. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for shooting guard. Those are some guys I'm going to be looking to target here. Not a ton of value I see here, sub 5K. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to small forward. Alright, so at small forward, we got another stud here. LeBron James at 10,400 going up against the Pacers. I think if you want to pay up for LeBron here, he's definitely in play. The Pacers, they obviously lost Paul George, who is one of their better defenders. One of the guys that could probably stop LeBron, has given LeBron troubles. But now they don't really have anyone that's going to defend LeBron, even though nobody can really defend LeBron. He's pretty much matchup proof. So it's a good spot for LeBron if you want to pay up for him. I think he's one of the studs you can definitely consider today. 10,400, that is a nice price tag on him. But looking for other small forwards that we can target in the 7K, 6K range, some mid-tier guys. I think if you want to target Otto Porter here at 7,100, I think he's a fine play. I don't like that price tag. I don't really see myself playing 7K for Otto Porter. But this guy has flashed plenty of upside. We've seen it in his last 4 games. He had 2 monster games, 46 against Denver and 53 against Golden State. This is obviously a great matchup against Phoenix, against a Suns team that, like I said, plays at a very fast pace. So if you want a GPP play that has a lot of upside, definitely consider Otto Porter at 7,100. I don't feel like a ton of people are going to play him at that price tag. If they're going to pay anybody, or if they're going to play anybody from Washington at that price, they're either going to go up to John Wall or going to play Bradley Beal for just 100 more. So if you want a low-owned GPP play from Washington, I like Otto Porter today at 7,100. And then looking for some small forwards in the 6K and 5K range. Jaylen Brown at 5,900. Like Jaylen Brown here going up against Sacramento. Sacramento, they're just not a good defensive team. They don't really have any good guards that can defend. So I think if you want to target Jaylen Brown here at 5,900, you're going to need about 30-35 DK points for him to hit value. And in this matchup against the Kings, a bad defensive team, Jaylen Brown can definitely get there. So I like him at 5,900. Also like Justin Holiday at that same price. Holiday's also small forward eligible. You can play him here too. And then looking for some cheaper value plays that we can target. TJ Warren at 5,100 going up against Washington. I like TJ Warren here as a value play. This is a good matchup for Warren. Washington does struggle against the forward position. So I definitely like him today as a sort of cheaper value play we can target at 5,100. You need 30 DK points for 6x value from him. And he can definitely get there in a good matchup against Washington, who, like I said, they have struggled against forwards this year. So if you want to target TJ Warren as a small forward value play, I definitely think he is in play at 5,100. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for small forward. Those are some guys I have my eye on here. I don't see really any cheap value plays like sub 5K that we can target. Maybe if you want to target like this Bogdanovich guy from Sacramento, he has been starting for them. He has been seeing some good minutes. But it is a tough matchup against Boston. They have good defenders like Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart that could give him some troubles. So I'd probably shy away from him, but if you wanted to go this cheap, I guess Bogdanovich is in play at 4,500, but definitely not a guy I'm going to be really heavily considering. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for small forward. Let's go ahead and move on to power forward. Alright, so at power forward, we got two more studs here, two guys over 10K, the Twin Towers, DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis. They're going to be going up against the Timberwolves. I would imagine Cousins is going to be up against Karl Anthony Towns, and Davis is going to be up against Taj Gibson. If I had to choose one of these guys to pay up for, I'd probably go with Cousins because Karl Anthony Towns has really struggled defensively this year, and Cousins has played really well as of late. In his last game against Orlando, didn't have that good of a game, only put up 45 DK points, but before that, Cousins really flashed his upside, 66, 83, and 70 DraftKings points. So I think Cousins is a fine guy to pay up for. I'd probably prefer Harden and LeBron over him, but I think Boogie's fine if you want to pay up for him. Same with Anthony Davis. These guys are matchup proof. I don't really have to tell you to pay up for these guys, but I'm definitely not going to be doing today because I love John Wall at 9,500, and I can't pay up for all the studs. But looking for some other guys we can target away from the studs. Kristaps Porzingis at 8,900 going up against Houston. Really like Kristaps here. Like this spot for him against Houston. They don't really have anyone that can defend Porzingis, and we've seen this guy just flash so much upside. In his last 3 games, he's put up 49, 54, and 55 DK points. Porzingis is just having a monster start to the year. This is a great matchup, like I said, against Houston, a team that we know plays at a very fast pace. I'm not sure if Porzingis is going to see defense from Anderson or Capella, but either way, he should definitely succeed in this matchup. So I think he's a fine guy to pay up for today at power forward at 8,900. And then looking for some other power forwards that we can target. Al Horford's in a good spot against Sacramento. I don't like that price tag, though, at 7,400. I think there are other guys I'd prefer. But Horford has been playing well lately. He's had 3 of his last 4 games over 40 DraftKings points. But he is 7,400, and you're going to need close to 40 DK points, if not more than that, for him to hit value. He could definitely do that against Sacramento. So if you want to pay up for Al Horford in that mid-tierish, upper tier, I think he's fine at 7,400. But looking for some guys in the 6K, 5K range, some cheaper guys we can target. I think Lauri Markkanen from the Bulls, I think he's a fine mid-tier play at 6,100. This guy's been playing really well lately. He's been really consistent. In his last 4 games, he's put up 31, 32, 32, and 30 DraftKings points. That's hit 5x value in 4 straight games. He can definitely provide you fantasy points multiple ways. Can score the ball, he can shoot threes, get you that 3-point bonus, can grab some rebounds as well. Definitely has the potential to get you a double-double, get you the double-double bonus. So if you want to target Lauri Markkanen in that 6K range at power forward, I think he's definitely in play at 6,100. And then looking for some other power forwards that we can target, Domantas Sabonis at 5,700. I'm not sure who Sabonis is going to see defensively, whether it be Tristan Thompson or Kevin Love. Sabonis does play the 5 for the Pacers, so he probably will be matched up with Tristan Thompson. And Thompson definitely probably going to dominate Sabonis on the boards, but Sabonis can step out and shoot the 3, and that could give Thompson some troubles. And right now, as I'm recording this video, Sabonis is having a monster game tonight against the Kings. I believe he has like a double-double in the first half, just playing really well. So if you want to target him in that mid-tier at power forward, I think he's a good play, 5,700. And then maybe looking for some cheaper guys, some value plays we can target at power forward. I like TJ Warren here. I already talked about him earlier. I think he's a good play at 5,100 if you want to play him. There aren't a ton of cheap power forwards I'm seeing that I'm going to be looking to target. Dario Saric has been starting for the Sixers with J.J. Redick out. Saric has been moved into the starting lineup with Redick out. So if Redick's out again and Saric starts again, he might be a considerable value play at 4,500. He's really cheap. He's seeing over 30 minutes when he's in the starting lineup. He could definitely hit 6x value if Redick doesn't play. So I think he's a fine value play at 4,500. If you want to target him, I think he's definitely in consideration. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for power forward. Just don't have a ton of interest in these guys. Sub 5K, they just don't play enough minutes. Somebody would have to get injured in order for them to be fantasy relevant. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on to center. Alright, so at center here, the only stud I haven't talked about is Karl Anthony Towns. Towns definitely not a guy I'm going to have a ton of interest in today at 9K. They're just other guys I'd much rather have in that price range. Like Kristaps, I think I'd rather have Porzingis. Probably rather have Jokic for 300 less, or Blake Griffin. I think Blake Griffin I'd prefer over Towns. So I'm not really interested in Towns today. He's the only center up top that I haven't talked about. So looking for some other centers that we can target. Joel Embiid at 7,900. I rarely roster Embiid because of the minutes limit. But this guy, even when he's seeing like not even 30 minutes, he's still just having monster games. He saw 28 minutes against Detroit, put up 42 DraftKings points. Saw 25 minutes against Houston, put up 45 DK points. Today he gets to face Atlanta, a team that really struggles against bigs. They lost Dwight Howard. So this is just a great spot for Joel Embiid. If you're not scared to roster him even with the minutes restriction, I think he's definitely in play even at 7,900. Even though he's going to play like 25-30 minutes, the dude just smashes it when he's on the court. So I think he's a center you can definitely consider in that 7K range today. Also really like Marc Gasol at 7,600. He is currently questionable for this game. If Gasol plays, he is a great play today, going up against Orlando, going up against Nikola Vucevic, who is a very bad defender. So definitely keep an eye on Marc Gasol. If he plays here, he is a guy I really have some interest in today at 7,600. But I'm not going to talk too much about him since he is questionable. He might miss this game. But if he's in there, definitely consider him. But 100 less, I got a core play from center here. 7,500. Really like Dwight Howard today. Going to plug him in at center. Going up against the Bucks. Just like this spot for Dwight Howard. Like the price tag. This dude's really so consistent. Rarely is he going to bust for you. Really, the only game he struggled was his last game against Memphis, and that was a really tough matchup against Marc Gasol, who is a really good defender. But if you just mark out that game, Dwight Howard has been so consistent this year. 36, 39, 44, 40, 46, and 40 DraftKings points. Dwight Howard's pretty much a walking double-double. I believe out of the 6 games he's played this year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out of the 7 games he's played this year, I think he's only had 2 games without a double-double. So like I said, Howard's pretty much a walking double-double. He has the potential to get you 20 and 20, 20 points, 20 rebounds. He has that kind of upside, especially going up against Milwaukee, who has struggled against bigs this year. Love the spot for Dwight Howard at 7,500. I think if you want to target Marc Gasol for 100 more, I think he's definitely a viable option. But since Gasol is questionable, I'm going to go with Dwight Howard for 100 less. So I plugged him in at center. And then looking for some other centers that we can target. Sub 6K, maybe some mid-tier, cheaper guys. Marcin Gortat at 5,900. I think Gortat's definitely in play here going up against Phoenix. This is a good matchup. Tyson Chandler, obviously not the best defender. And Gortat's pretty cheap at 5,900. You need 30-35 DK points for close to 5-6x value, which he could definitely get in this good matchup against Phoenix. So if you want to target Marcin Gortat, if you're looking for a cheaper center, I think he's definitely in play at 5,900. Already mentioned Sabonis at 5,700. You can play him as center as well. I think he's a fine, cheaper play. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for center. Dario Saric, he's center eligible. I already mentioned him earlier. I like him as a value play. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. That's what I'm seeing for center today. I think that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Be sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel. If this is your first time watching a video on my channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also, be sure to cut on notifications. Next to the subscribe button, you'll see a little bell. If you click that bell, that will notify you every time I upload. So if you never want to miss out on any videos, be sure to do that as well, guys. Would really appreciate it. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Good luck tonight, guys. Peace.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah, she shaking fast. Yeah, she dropping slow. What? Yeah, neck on fro. Whoa, 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 whoa.